Hi, today I wanted to talk to you about the Magic Run weekend. I've posted the videos of the races already, so make sure you check those if you haven't seen them yet. But now I want to talk to you about what it was like to run the races and also what the rest of the weekend was like and all the other things that we did besides just the running. We drove down on Thursday to be on time for the expo. Now we stood in line for quite some time to make sure that we could get in there quickly. The expo went a lot smoother than it did last year when it opened more than half an hour late. This year it was on time and we got through the lines inside very quickly to pick up all our stuff. Like before, there were not a lot of vendors at the expo. It's nothing like what some runners are used to in the States. A couple of booths from sponsors and travel agents, but in no way a comparison to the expo that I visited in Orlando for marathon weekend. This year, there was also not a lot of merchandise for the races. The usual I Did It shirts for all the races and a tech shirt for this year, which looked just like last year's, plus a shirt for the Castle to Chateau challenge, which also looked just like last year's. I had the pins pre-ordered, but I was kind of hoping to find something else as a souvenir, but I didn't find anything. It was a pretty speedy visit to the expo, so that left us with more time to enjoy the parks. Thursday is still the best day for shorter lines at the rides, so we enjoyed a lot of the bigger rides in no time at all. Star Tours, Big Thunder Mountain twice, Hyperspace Mountain, all with maybe 10 minutes wait at the most.
That's music to my ears.
Friday we took advantage of the magic hour, so we got up early and went to the park. I've never seen Disneyland Park as empty during the day as on Friday. The lines were minimal and we got to do a lot of the rides. The great things this weekend was that I got to hang out with friends that I've met from other races, but I also got to meet people that I've only had contact with online before. Plus, I met a lot of people who followed the vlog, which was really cool. At first, it was a little bit unreal to have people recognize me, but it was really great that people came up to me to tell me that they enjoyed the videos or that had been training along with my training plan. I really enjoyed meeting all of you, and if you ever see me at another event, make sure that you come up and say hi. I really enjoyed that. 5K started at 8 p.m., but we went down to the corrals at 6 already. The weather was nice, and we just had fun hanging out and looking at all the costumes and everything. While waiting for the race to start, we found out that Corral A was way bigger than last year. Through social media, we already found out that a lot of the runners who put in a time of 2.5 hours or 3 hours for the half marathon had an assignment for Corral A. The corrals were assigned completely at random and made absolutely no sense. A lot of slow runners, walkers, and very small children were in front of the 5K. Not only did this slow down the entire race and cause very long lines for everybody at the characters, it was also just very dangerous for the runners trying to get through and the small children being knocked over. I have no idea why Run Disney chose to do it this way, but I sure hope that they will change this next year. I spent most of the race trying to get through the crowd and getting to a point where I could run without a crowd of people around me and hoping to get in front of the lines for the characters, but this left me unable to actually enjoy the run and the park. I also thought there could have been a bit more characters, maybe the more exclusive characters, or some big props like they do for the Star Wars races in Orlando. Looking back at the 5K, I think there are a lot of things that could have been a lot better. Now, if you look back at my videos from the past year, I run a lot of events. I run a lot of fun runs, and I have to say the Marvel 5K has been my worst experience in a race so far. I think we can expect a lot better from Disney. After the race, it was straight to bed because I had to get up early to head to the corrals at 5 a.m. for the 10K. An early start to get to the front of Corral B. Again, Corral A was way too big. Right after the start, there was a very sharp bend to the right for all the races. not the greatest start of a race when you're stuck in a large crowd of people, but I guess this was the only way that they could start the course. I don't know. Again, I think there could have been more characters on during the run, but I think everybody was complaining about this. I kind of missed the Disney characters at the finish, but I'm guessing that that's because of last year. A lot of runners stopped right before the finish to take selfies with the characters, and that got the whole finish area so congested that runners couldn't get through. So I'm guessing that that's the reason why the characters weren't out there. So that's too bad. The new system with scanning the bibs for the photo pass at the character stops really slowed down the process too. Not only do some runners think it's a meet and greet, and they start talking to the characters and hugging them, which makes it take forever. But the people who did the scanning also didn't seem to be in any sort of rush, which for someone who is running and has to pass up 1,000 slow runners can be a little bit frustrating. I understand that it probably helps sorting out the photos afterwards, but I think it's better to save time on the character lines and keep the flow going and have more people get a chance on character photos than to save time in the post photo process. But maybe that's just me. The crowds, the volunteers, the cast members on the sidelines, they were amazing. So much enthusiasm and cheers from the lines that really gives you that extra boost while you're running. This is also a good reason to dress up during the race. With my Pinocchio outfit on, I had everybody yelling "Go Pinocchio" at me from the sidelines, so that was awesome. Now the start of the 10K was pretty rough, but it got a lot better the further I got into the race, and I actually really did enjoy the 10K. On Saturday afternoon, we had the meetup with Gerald from Res Runs and Jenna Lynn from Joyful Miles. Now I didn't film any of that, but Gerald did, so hopefully we'll get to see some of that soon in his videos. It was awesome meeting the people who've been following the vlog, who've been watching the videos, so that was really great. And it was great spending some time with Gerald because we both run very differently, so we kind of knew that we weren't going to see each other during the races. So it was fun having some time to hang out. For dinner, we had reservations for the Marvel dinner at the Manhattan restaurant in Hotel New York. Now, my friend Phil from London, who ran with me last year for the half marathon, surprised me with a visit. He came down for the night to come cheer me on the next day, so he joined us for dinner. The Marvel dinner was awesome. The food was really great. The desserts just out of this world, and the atmosphere in the restaurant with the pianist playing pretty much the entire soundtrack of Guardians of the Galaxy, which is very, very nice. Now after dinner, another early night so I could get some sleep before the half marathon on Sunday, when I got up and was back outside before 5 a.m. For some reason, even though it's an early rise and standing in the cold for a long time, it was just great to hang out in the corrals with everybody. I don't know, it's just a lot of fun to me. Of course, Corral A still way too big, but before the start of the race, my friend Cody and me, we managed our way through a lot of the back of Corral A, so we got a little further to the start, but still way too many people in front of us at the beginning of the race. Again, I would have loved to have seen more characters during the race, but the entertainment outside of the park along the course was really awesome. We had some drizzle the whole race, so I don't know if this had anything to do with the fact that there were no more characters when we got back to Studios Park, but I feel they missed some chances on having some more photo ops for the runners there. The course for the half marathon hasn't changed that much over the years, especially the part outside of the parks, which seemed to make the race go by a lot faster now that I'm familiar with the course. The medals for the races were absolutely amazing. They really came out with some amazing bling for these races. Picking them up at the expo went pretty smooth, but I still think that it would have been better to have the medals at the finish. It seems like Paris, after you finish, you get funneled out of the park and everybody goes their own way. After the races in Orlando, everybody is taking photos with the characters and their medals. You're still hanging out a bit if you want, and you see the people that you've run into during the races. I don't know, it just adds to the experience. So I kind of miss that in Paris. Now, I don't want to come off too negative because I do love these races and I had an amazing time the 5 days at Disney. But I think there is a lot of room for improvement. And I do believe that Run Disney has to hear about this. So make sure that you fill out the surveys that they send out, or that you send them an email with your experience, telling them what you thought went wrong or what you thought could use improvement. If they don't hear about it, how are they going to fix it? Our park days were awesome. Saturday and Sunday, always very busy, but we still got some rides in. And on Sunday evening, when it got a little quieter, we got in some rides in the studio park. We did Ratatouille 3-4 times without any wait at all. I just love that ride. Then we watched the fireworks at Disneyland Park and had dinner with friends at Inventions at the Disneyland Hotel. This was a really great night. The food there is amazing. There are characters walking around, so we got a ton of photos. And we got to spend some time with Cody and Alyssa and Michael that night. That was really cool. We know each other through Disney races, and it was great to, instead of standing in the cold for hours together, now we're sitting down, having a meal, spending some great time talking, laughing, and just enjoying the evening. So that was really awesome. For those of you who saw the video of Janine's story, there were a lot of very nice reactions, a lot of encouragement for her. So that was really great. I tried to put in some footage of how she did during the race, but since we didn't run together, there wasn't that much footage. She did, of course, finish the race. She did great. She let me know that afterwards she actually felt really good. She came in at 3 hours and 34 minutes, which might not have been the time that she wanted to run when she signed up, but she told me that she was very happy with the race. She stopped for all the photo stops, so that was awesome. We were supposed to meet up after the race in the park, but once she got to the hotel, she found out she was pretty tired and she needed some rest. So we never actually got to meet up. She did let me know that her and her family drove back that night and they celebrated at McDonald's. After a race, I also like to treat myself with something. I'm not very big on candy or sweets, and weeks before the race, I minimize my sugar intake. So after the race, we decided to go down to Annette's Diner for the Elvis the King banana split. Now this was one big dessert, and on the menu it says that it's good for sharing, but this was just mine. And it's not that I can't share, but just don't touch my ice cream. No, seriously, don't touch my ice cream. Now, all in all, it was a great weekend, and I hope that Run Disney will fix all the issues for next year. So make sure that you let them know about your experience, so that next year it'll be a lot better. Also, let me know how things went for you. If there were things that you weren't prepared for, things that you would have liked to have known before you went, things that maybe I missed to mention in my preparation or training videos coming up to the races, so that I can make a note of that and make sure that we'll cover that for next year. Now on Tuesday, after the races, we went to Le Parc de Feline, which is a big cat park where they have very big and very small cats, wild cats. So in my next video, I will show you what that was like. It's not running related, but it's a very nice park, and they had some really nice animals. And maybe it's a good tip for your next visit to Disneyland Paris to visit there, because it's about 10 minutes away. So make sure you don't miss that video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, get out there and run.